Good morning, friends. I'm Shruti and I'm back again with another interview. Today I'm at Clinical Trials Summit where I happen to meet speakers and leaders from clinical trial industry. I have with me somebody who's an expert in this subject. He is the client partner with Excellient, that is a company in clinical trial, a data management company, and they are creating a lot of applications in this area. So let's hear from him that what the space of clinical trial is about, what are the traditional channels and how disruption or innovation is happening in this area. Hello Rahul, welcome to my show.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much for this introduction primarily. Well, clinical trial is predominantly a bottleneck for any drug to come to the market. I'm sure you must have used a lot of medicines like crocin, but how do you know that crocin or metformin is for diabetes? You know, it could be for your painkiller, it could be used as a painkiller as well, but the basic fact of why a drug is used for a certain action or a certain disease, that's where clinical trial comes into the picture. And I'm sure you must have heard a lot of myths about what's clinical trial, that it is not human, it's an inhuman practice, that it's not good, and we use human as guinea pigs, but absolutely that's a complete myth, because a very basic information that I would like to convey through this interview is, before any clinical trial being initiated, there's a lot of effort which is spent, a lot of time and a lot of money which has been spent before we actually come and do the clinical trials. We test the toxicity of any molecule. We check the adverse event of any molecule and all other aspects which could terminally say that this drug is not safe. We make sure that this drug is safe and only then we bring it to the clinical trials. And when we do it, there are different very structured phases of clinical trials, wherein the patient data which is collected, it is processed in a very structured format, and it is all regulatory governed. In fact, US FDA is one of the authority which governs this entire collection of data. And like she mentioned about Excellence, so we are in fact a clinical data management application. Very few in the world who have been known for the integrity of data and the smartest and the fastest way we have been uh, 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 we have been known for, or probably appreciated for bringing these drugs faster into the market with much more ethical way and much more smarter way than the traditional practices what were done in the clinical trials.
So Rahul, that's pretty much about clinical trial. What were the traditional channels of data collection in this space?
Sure. So the traditional channels of data collection were paper. Uh, you remember going to a doctor and doctor giving you a prescription, and also a lot of reports which were getting generated. He would ask you to go and do your blood test, your
X-ray.
X-rays, and every hell lot of tests, right? But in clinical trial, this whatever your routine practices are, there are 100 times more what happens in the routine practice. So imagine the kind of data, the number of papers that you would be generating every now and then when you're in a clinical trial. So handling so much of data and processing this huge amount of data is a painful task, and that's what Excellent changed. That's what we have changed. We have converted this entire paper, collection of paper into an e-format. So we are actually planning to make it paperless, the entire clinical trial, which would be a paperless trial, and also addressing one of the Go Green initiatives. But apart from that, on a serious note, this is something which also maintains the integrity of the data and also patient's interest, that he should not be harmed or he should not be treated unethically in this entire process of studies, clinical trials.
Rahul, very well said by you that you're moving towards automation, towards digitization. Whole India right now is on the verge of digitization. A lot of digitization is happening. So, what are the new channels of innovation, or how are you moving towards automation?
Well, that's good. Because number one is cloud. We are 100% on cloud as our product is there. Why is because infrastructure was one of the major challenges. Having stacks of servers, maintaining them, then with a backup, disaster recovery, all these challenges were there. So one thing what we've done is we have already migrated Excel to cloud. I'm not taking the name of our partners, but they are very well known, Microsoft and Amazon. We are working with them, And as far as automation is concerned, so a lot of things in the process of clinical trial, what we have automated is, for example, the deployment time. Any application for deployment of a clinical trial, it would take at least 2 to 3 months. Through automation, we have actually changed this timeline from 2 to 3 months to just 1 week. So that's where the benefit you get as a client and also at the end user to bring the product faster to the market.
And so that you can respond to the change pretty quickly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and agility is the buzzword for today.
True.
So are you also moving with the agile way of working?
Yes, we have in fact. That's in our DNA, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about big data?
So yes, in fact, this is what we had discussed earlier in the event that big data is it has been there in the industry for quite some time, and also clinical trial is somewhat getting a flavor of big data. Having said that, the wearable devices which are coming in the picture nowadays, a lot of information which is collected from your wearable devices, your blood pressure, your heartbeat, your temperature, your time of sleep, but not all this data is relevant to you. Some of them might be useful in the clinical trial, some of them may not be useful in the clinical trial. So in such cases, it is very much important to identify what are the right spots. But as of now, these right spots have not been identified, and that's where the entire industry is also moving towards the clinical trial and towards the big data, where we collect all the information and at the same time also cleanse it to make sure that we have what is required and not all the garbage that we want to collect.
Okay. And is that the point where artificial intelligence also steps in?
So artificial intelligence is something which yes, to some extent with big data it is relevant, but it has its own charm and flavor when we talk about AI. There are few of the examples like Sanofi and other pharma companies who have already implemented or already started exploring the artificial intelligence area. But as far as the correlation is concerned between big data and artificial intelligence, these are two different aspects and have their own integrity in their own space, which do not interfere with each other. But having said that, industry, yes, it is moving towards AI models as well.
And what about the compliance issues? I heard that there are a lot of compliance issues connected with the space of clinical trials. So would you throw some light on that?
Yes, sure. So in fact, that when you say that you have heard a lot of compliance issues, that's where Excellent actually comes into the picture. We are working out. We are putting a lot of effort to make sure that this non-compliance is eradicated. We don't have non-compliance, and that's where 21 CFR Part 11 compliance comes into picture. We are the one who, the tool, we have developed a tool in such a way that every information captured is authentic. If you do a minor change in the application, it will be recorded. It cannot be manipulated at any stage, at any level. So that's where we are addressing compliance. But yeah, as far as industry is concerned, there were compliance issues in the past, but a product like Excellent can actually address these.
So Rahul, that was a pretty informative interview. Thanks
you.
for throwing light on the disruptors and the
Thank you.
big technologies that are coming in the picture.
you
And
so
I
much.
wish you good luck.
Thank you so much.
And it was
Thank
great
you.
interviewing
Yes,
you.
thank you so much, and
Thank
have
you.
a nice day.
Thank you. Have a nice day. This is Shruti signing off, but I'll see you soon. Bye.